It was almost like an old pals act yesterday as the two managers exchanged some happy pre-match banter. But the smiles wouldn't have lasted long during a poor first half. Two clear-cut chances fell Livingston's way, but Pars keeper Marco Rutenbeck was equal to them both. Kino was first to test him after half an hour. And then David Bingham almost found a way past with a well-struck shot which the goalie deflected away for a corner. Doesn't really matter how you keep them out, as long as they don't go in. Dunfermline saw plenty of the ball in the first 45 without fashioning too many obvious chances, although Craig Brewster came mighty close as the half-time whistle approached. Brewster's been a major player for Dunfermline this season, but couldn't quite keep this effort down. He made amends though 2 minutes after the restart as Dunfermline reacted best to the half-time team talk. A fast, fluid build-up involving Stevie Crawford and Gary Dempsey gave Brewster the chance to shine. Goal number 7 of the season and Dunfermline ahead in the game. This was much more like it in the second half as both sides upped the ante and the quality. Goal of the season would have been settled before bonfire night had this Gary Boland's screamer been a few inches lower. There isn't yet an award for save of the season, but maybe there should be. Barry Wilson couldn't believe his header was kept out. This really is top-class goalkeeping from Marco Rutenbeck. And that should have been the spur to go on and put the game beyond Livy's reach as the Pars superbly turned defence into attack. Lee Bullen and Craig Brewster tried to outdo each other in how to measure the perfect pass. Gary Dempsey did just about everything right, but plucked agony from the brink of ecstasy. And boy did he know it. He looks for all the world like a top penalty box predator, then falls prey to stage fright. That didn't stop Dunfermline pushing forward though, something Lee Bullen did at various points in the game to great effect. But like Dempsey before him, Bullen blew it at the vital moment. Once again Dunfermline superb in the build-up, but just unable to kill the game off. And as you might expect, such profligacy was eventually punished. Livingston refused to rest until they got even, and 10 minutes before the end, the Sheriff made sure they did. Substitute Sharif Tourmaman ensuring its 4 league games without defeat for the Livy Lions. With 20 goals between them before yesterday, it's no wonder that Crawford and Brewster have a host of admirers at East End Park. Their manager's certainly one of their biggest fans, but the big travelling support from Edinburgh had high hopes that Bobby Williamson would be the happier boss at full time. Well, a very poor first half belonged mainly to Dunfermline, for whom Scott Walker went close early on. Jason Dare's cross was made to measure, but Walker couldn't claim his second goal of the season. Scott Thompson's free kicks caused Hibs a fair bit of bother yesterday, and Lee Bullen had every right to expect someone on the end of his knockdown. But Craig Brewster just failed to get a touch. And but for Gary Dempsey, we would have got to half-time without a single shot on target. But his effort was never really going to trouble Nick Colgan in goal. Thankfully, things picked up considerably after the interval, and we were treated to a really watchable second half. Hibs came out like they really meant business and almost went ahead twice in the first few minutes after the restart. John O'Neill's finding his feet again, having missed most of the season due to injury, and he set the tone for the rest of the match with a couple of shots which were only inches wide of the mark. The manager had clearly told his team to up the tempo, and Dunfermline hardly knew what had hit them. So it was no surprise when Hibs got their noses in front on 58 minutes. Mixu Patalainen making a nuisance of himself in the box, and Tam McManus on hand to tuck away the chance for his 4th goal of the season. Scott Wilson couldn't get enough on the headed clearance, and McManus finished nicely. So what could Dunfermline do to turn things around? Do what they do best and have a right good goal. Jason Dare had a good game in midfield for the Pars, but couldn't keep this effort down. But he was a busy man and was soon setting up a fantastic chance for Craig Brewster as the Pars tried to build up ahead of steam. But you just began to wonder whether it might not be Dunfermline's day. Hibs breathing a huge sigh of relief that this didn't end up in the back of the net. And surely we wouldn't see another manager sent to the stands by a referee. Bobby Williamson knew one goal probably wouldn't be enough at East End Park, and so it proved. Dare's persistence eventually paid off for a very grateful Stevie Crawford to bring Dunfermline level. There was plenty for Dare to do out wide, and thanks to him, it's goal number 13 of an already excellent season for Scotland striker Crawford. That was pretty much it in terms of goal threat, although Mixu Patalainen did go close to stealing all the points for Hibs. And up the other end, Stephen Hampshire beat the offside trap to put himself one-on-one with Nick Colgan, but the keeper did well to foil the threat. So the Pars rescued a point on another good day for their top scorer.
Manager Paul Hegarty described the United performance as the worst in his 10 games in charge. The game was more or less over after 41 minutes, by which time Dunfermline had a 3-goal lead. Craig Brewster returned to haunt his old club with a double, taking his tally to 10 this season, his second from the spot after Scott Walker had been felled in the box. Walker himself was on target with Dunfermline's third, a superb header, and apart from Thompson, United looked disjointed as they attempted a fight back in the second half. It was the home fans, though, who were celebrating again as Barry Nicholson's shot found its way into the net. Thompson tried his best to make use of the few scraps that came his way, and he did set up Jim McIntyre for United's consolation. Now the Tannadice club have been forced to cash in on their most saleable asset. Dunfermline have already taken 4 points off Livingston this season, and it was their Scotland striker Stevie Crawford who broke the deadlock on the stroke of half-time. A great turn from Crawford before clipping the ball past Broto. Number 2 was a gift from the Livingston substitute keeper. David McEwen had come on for the injured Broto, but spilled Brewster's shot into the pass of, guess who, Stevie Crawford, and Dunfermline with the win.
First it looked like Livy would make it through, thanks to Gary Boland's deflected first half free kick. And that lead lasted until just after the hour when Dunfermline hauled themselves back into the tie. And little surprise that it was top scorer and Scotland striker Stevie Crawford who turned in Stephen Hampshire's shot to keep the Pars in the cup.